Hey guys, I wasn't real sure if we went live. It was definitely an interesting thing. So let me see if I can stop this sound here.
Hey guys.
There we go. And now we are actually live. I'm super excited because this is only the second day, the second training for AppreneurPro. And I wanted you guys to actually get the chance to see the first one, which is on the YouTube channel. And again, I'm not going to spend any time selling anything or sharing software, getting you to sign up for anything. I just want to train you on how to build mobile apps using the Builderall platform. So it's super duper cool what you can do with it. And the last time we kind of talked a little bit about mobile apps and why would you do mobile apps, right? And we talked about the fact that it was one of the top rated jobs in the US by CNN Money. They ranked it as number one. It wasn't one of the top, it was number one. And it was number one because it's such a great job to be in. The potential for growth is there. The potential for making a lot of money is there. And it's a very self-satisfying type of job because you can kind of do things the way you want to do them. And you can be your own boss and produce something that is amazing for the customer. And quite frankly, when I've gone into a business and I've said, hey, I'd like to build your mobile app for you, my IQ actually ends up going up a little bit. They think I'm like really, really smart. And that's one of the fun things about being a mobile app builder is that people think you're like so smart and just so talented. And you're going to find out that with the Builderall mobile app builder, you don't have to know a whole lot about mobile apps. You don't have to know any coding. You don't have to know any programming, anything like that. You can actually do it from scratch. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the app builder and I'm just going to give you a real quick down and dirty of what we're going to look at when we use the app builder in Builderall. It's super simple. No hard training today, just kind of an overview of the app builder and what kind of things we're going to be looking at when we start building our app. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. This is always the fun part. There I am, yay me. And here I am at the Builderall dashboard, and I'll go back into the dashboard main homepage. And from here, all I'm going to do is click Builderall Builders. And then I'm going to go all the way down to where it says App Creator. And that's where we can create our mobile apps. You guys have probably been in the website builders, but may not have spent a lot of time in the App Creator. So we're going to jump in there and take a look at it. So when I click that, it actually opens up and we are able to we can build some mobile apps. So you can see that I've got a few test ones right here. I've got several Builderall accounts. This is one of them where I just kind of play with my builders. And I've got 4 that are already being built. And right here, I can do create a new application. Before that, I want to show you a couple things just on this screen alone that's pretty cool. The first thing is that when you need to go back to this dashboard, you can just click the dashboard button. It'll take you all the way back out here. The next thing is your profile. If you click down on this, you can look at your profile or you can log out of the builder. The next area is push notifications. So push notifications are a way to send a push message or force message into somebody's phone that has your app that they've installed. So why is this good? Well, let's say that you're a hair salon and you decide to have a mobile app made for you. You can have push notifications so that everybody that downloads your hair salon app, let's say you're running a special and you're going to give $10 off a haircut that day, you can actually send out a push notification to everybody that has that app and say, hey, if you come in today and mention the Builderall Diva, you'll get a $10 discount. And that message goes out immediately to every user that has the app installed. So it's really, really valuable for flash sales or flash promotions or even just an important announcement. So push notifications are very valuable to use in mobile apps. The next area is the language. You can choose from English, and there's also German, Spanish, French, Italian, Brazilian, and Russian. So for you guys that are promoting Builderall and you are getting Builderall users, you have the ability to promote this mobile app builder to people that are German, Spanish, French, Italian, Brazilian, and Russian. They will be able to jump in here and use this platform because all of those languages are offered. So that's a huge thing. And if I were you, I would get out there and start promoting to those groups, those locations, because you can get them to sign up for Builderall with the intention of using the app builder. So it's really, really cool. So that's that menu right there. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the metrics as well. This one, because it's all test apps that I'm building, it doesn't have really any metrics or analytics that you can take a look at. But when you do have apps that you've built and you have published, it will actually tell you how many people have visited your app, how many total installs you have. It'll tell you how many are on iOS versus Android. And then what are the top installs and the top visits? What pages do they visit and stuff like that. So very, very, very cool what you can do with these analytics because it gives you kind of a snapshot of what's going on. So now let's actually take a look at creating a new application. So I'm going to click the Create New, and we're just going to create an application name. So I'm going to say Monday Training. So I'm creating a new app, and it's going to be called Monday Training, and I'm going to click Create. And it's thinking about it. So it doesn't want to create. My computer's been kind of, oh, that's a ching. Yay, that may be why. Let me try it again. Nope, it doesn't want to create. So we're just going to go into oh, it is creating. It's rolling right here. So we're just going to let it roll for a second and see if it'll create it. There we go. All right, so we got in. So we're in our Monday Training app, right? And the first thing it wants us to do is to pick a template. And there are lots and lots of pre-made templates that are actually really, really nice. I love the designs on these, and you can see that each one has a little bit different kind of menu. For this mobile app training, we're just going to create the blank one so that we can kind of play with the pictures and put in exactly what we want. But as you get better with this platform, you'll actually, you'll go to your favorite ones that you like to use, and you'll grab those and then you'll edit those. But we're just going to start with the blank because that's easiest when we're actually doing a training. So now it says, if you validate, your app's colors and background image will be replaced. So what that's telling you is if you've already put in stuff into the app and you pick this blank app, it's going to change everything that you've set so far. So just remember, as you're building your app, you don't want to go in and change your template because it will change everything that you've done in your app so far. We haven't done anything, so we're good. So I'm going to click OK. And now it's going to think a little bit as it pulls everything together to start creating our app in the background. All right, so now it's actually created the template for our app, which of course it's all blank. There's really not anything special in there. And I'm not going to do anything as far as creating the app today. All I'm going to do is actually go through all of the menu items that we have available and kind of explain what areas we're going to hit and why we're going to hit them and what we're going to do. So this first area that we're hitting is the editor. This is where we're going to edit our app and we're going to make the changes that, that are in the template. So we take this template and we start editing. And the first area of the editor is design. And if you take a look, we've got the ability to change the template. Then we can change the layout. This is really cool because there's different ways that the icons and the clickable buttons appear on the screen. So you can actually click change your layout and you'll see that there's a bunch of different types of menus that you can choose for your application. So you can choose a menu that looks like this, a menu that is almost like a slider going up and down, right? You can do a pop-up menu like this, and then one at the bottom like this. So there's so many options. I'm not going to change it, but just remember that part of the fun of the app builder is going in and playing with all of these and seeing what they actually do. I really like the one that is the default. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window and keep the default, which is the buttons at the bottom. Okay. And then you're also going to have the option to set some layout options. So is this layout, meaning the menu right here, is it going to be visible from all pages? So when I switch pages, do I want that layout to appear? Well, yeah, I do. I like that. So I'm going to check mark that, and I'm going to make sure it appears on all of the pages. And then it asks, do you want to display the homepage slider? That's actually a picture that shows right here. And you can set several pictures there. Hold on while the screen changes. So you can set several pictures there, and they will actually slide across the screen. And you can change the position of that too. We're not going to do a homepage slider, but it is a really neat feature if that's something that you want to add to your app and to the homepage. And then it has border shadow, and this is actually visible. So you can see right here, there is an actual shadow right there. I can choose that down arrow and do it hidden and then save. And it will change. Hold on while it reloads the screen. And that shadow actually goes away. Or I can click and make it visible again and click save again. See how it's flipping between visible and not visible? So there's that shadow again. So that is just the shadow that appears on that little layout section. So depending on what layout you choose, you'll get different layout options right here. So for this layout that we chose, these are the options that are available. If you chose a different layout option, there would be different options available. That's why I'm saying play in the system and really look at all those different layout options and what layout options you have available to change, because that changes the dynamics of your app, and it makes it really fun to test things out and try things out. So the name of the game when you're creating these apps is play, test, and have fun with it. So on this same area of design, I also can set up my screen backgrounds for the homepage. So right now we've got these screen backgrounds, but at any time I can change them by just clicking change the picture. And then I just upload whatever picture I want to put on there, and it will upload it to that screen. And I want you to notice that it has the capability of portrait, meaning up and down, and it gives you the sizes that you need. So when we go through the training, I'll have a list for you of all the sizes that you're going to need for your portrait backgrounds and for your landscape backgrounds. And those are how you add those to your home screen page. The challenge is that you want to make sure that everything is good, high resolution and spaced evenly so that you have a good use of space, and you take into account that these layout buttons will be at the bottom. Okay, so that's another challenge that we'll play with, is the graphics that you have on each page. So those up at the top were portrait. These are the landscape versions. And the landscape versions are the ones where when you turn your phone sideways, you've got the picture going sideways. So we'll actually play with that a little bit. And again, I'll have the recommended sizes for you so you can create those graphics ahead of time. So the next area that we're going to look at is right here. And right there, we've got the use the homepage image as the background in all features. Features in this particular program mean pages. So what it's asking you is, do you want to use these pictures that you put in for every single page, or do you want to use it only for the homepage? So most of the time when I create a homepage image, it's only for the homepage. I don't necessarily want it on all of the pages, because usually that first image, that homepage image, has the most design on it. And if you have too much design within your app, it loses. It isn't as attractive. You want to try to keep apps pretty simple. So I don't check mark this because I like my homepage being different. Oh, I cha-chinged, yummy. Also, you can choose to hide the iOS bar or the Android bar. What that means is right up here in the top, you have a bar that tells you what carrier you're using, Wi-Fi signal, the percentage that you are charged, all that kind of good stuff. That's good information. But if you don't want them to see that, you can actually disable it and it will take it off the screen. Also, if you'll notice, I have some icons right here. These are all the different views I can take a look at. So right now I'm looking at what an iPhone 5 would look like. If I click the next icon, that's what an iPhone 6 would look like. The next one is what the Android would look like. And then the next one would be just a HTML5 device like a Google phone. Okay. So I'm going to keep it on iPhone because to me, that's the best way to render and take a look at what's going on. The next thing is choose your country. So this option allows you to choose like the currency that you will accept in your app. So all you do is just click the down button. And for me, I am in the US. So I would scroll all the way down to United States and just check mark that. And that will allow the currency to be in US dollars. And then also it allows you to choose your font style. So all throughout the app, there's going to be a default font. So this is setting that default font. So there's a lot of fonts that are available, including Arial, Courier, Georgia. Helvetica is one that loads really fast. That's probably the fastest loading one. Palatino. Times New Roman is probably the most recognizable. And then, of course, Verdana and Arial again. So the default that I choose usually is Helvetica because that loads fast. And to me, it's a nice font to use. So that is the design area. The next area that you will go to work on your app is the color. So I'm going to click on that. And it takes a minute to load. Everything that you do on here, it takes a little bit to load because this is a pretty big program. But in this area, this is where it gets a little challenging because there's a lot of colors here and a lot of areas where you will affect color. So you honestly have to play with this a lot to figure out where all of these colors go. So for example, a tooltip, you may not see that on this screen, but if on any screen there's a tooltip, these are the colors that the text will be and the background will be. So you want to really play with this a lot to see where these colors are. And I've actually got a document I'll be sharing with you as we go through this training that shows you specifically the colors and where they're located at. So no worries there. I've got a great document to show you where all that's at. So once you set your colors, and that means the colors of your little header area, the colors of your layout area, the colors of your background, the colors of any buttons, the color of a list, the color of any boxes and cards that you put on. Seriously, there's a lot of colors that you can set and you can make them so that there's continuity throughout your app. So if you like purple with pink polka dots, then you've got the ability to designate the exact pink and the exact purple that you want to use for anything in your app. So it makes it really pretty, very customizable. And then when your user sees it, it's definitely branded with your colors, which is really, really cool. It's exactly like creating a website, you guys. When you create a website that has continuity throughout it. You don't have a purple page and then a green page and then a blue page and then a black page. You don't have that. You have a certain set of colors when you're designing your website, and you want the same thing for your mobile app. Okay, after that, you'll go to features. And when you go to features, remember that features are the same thing as pages. They're the exact same thing. And there's a ton of different pages that you can create for your site. And this is the list of all of them. So just to give you an example, we're not going to do training, but to give you an example, you have the audio page. So if you click on that, you can add audio files to that page. Also, a calendar page, a catalog page, a code scan page, e-commerce. You can actually put products in this app and sell them, which is really fun. And lots of other different types of pages. So again, as we go through training, I will take each individual page and show you how to use it and what it looks like and what it does. So this is just a very beginning to let you know, get ready. We've got a lot of pages to learn about. They're also already categorized. So if you want a social media page, you just click the social button. And then here's all of these social pages that you can install on your app. If you want customization, then here's a custom page and a source code page. So both of those you can customize with the type of page that you want. So again, we'll go through each one of those pages individually so I can show you exactly what they do and exactly how to set it up. The next area is application. And when you click this area, you're going to start putting in information about your app. So you're going to create an app icon, and in the training, we'll actually go through how to do that. And then you can actually select what your back button appears like. So you even have the choice of the back button to go back certain pages. Then you've got some more settings on the application, including the push image and the color of that push image. So remember, we talked about push notifications. You can actually designate what your push notification looks like. So it even gives you a preview of what your push notice will look like. So that's really cool. You can personalize that to your brand, and it's fabulous. The next thing is the startup image. I call this the splash screen, because as your app is loading, there'll be just a couple of seconds of a splash screen that appears. And you want to take advantage of that and make that splash screen unique to you, so that when it pops up, even if the user only sees it for a second, you are sending them a message or branding yourself or something like that. So the startup image is really important. And so there's several different sizes that you'll create for the startup image. So that's setting up some settings specifically for the app. And then the next item is publication. When you click that, that's when you start the process of getting ready to make your app public by publishing it onto the different platforms. So you're going to put in some general information, including the app name. You're going to get the bundle ID. That's going to be really important because you're going to need to use that to publish on the platform. The package name is also important. And then the privacy policy, the app platforms now are getting really strict about making sure you have a privacy policy. So we've put one in there for you so you don't have to create it from scratch. Also, if you want to monetize, you're able to do that. You can set it up so that there's advertising in your app. And if anyone clicks on that advertising and then goes and purchases something, you actually get a percentage of that. And you can set that up inside this area, the publication area. And then you've got mobile source codes. And when you get your app ready and you have some pages in your app and you've developed your app with everything that you want in it, then you can submit to get builds. And when you submit to get builds, that means you're getting the package that you're going to use to publish to either the iOS platform or the Android platform. And you'll need those files to put up on those platforms. So that's where you get that source code. You have to submit to get the build. And that takes sometimes 24 hours, sometimes a little bit longer for iOS. But once they get the build, they'll put it right here on the dashboard, and you can download it right here from the dashboard. So very easy to do. Once you get those builds, you go to the platforms and upload to the platform. So you'll upload to Apple and you'll upload to Google Play. The next area is promote. And when you click promote, we're going to be talking about how do you promote this app, right? So when you get it published, you'll have an iOS link right here. You'll also have an Android link. You'll copy that and paste it right there, and you'll click save. And then you can actually download this QR code, and you can put that, this is so cool, you can put that on your business cards. So all people have to do is scan it, and it will take them to your app, or it will download. All I have to do then is click download. So it is super, super cool stuff. This one right here, once you get your iOS link from the Apple Store and your Android link from the Google Play Store, you can create this QR code, and it will take them directly to the app so they can download. So just to give you an example of how to use this, if you're a hair salon and you want people to download the app and install it, you might have a sign on your door that says something like, before you step into the store, scan this barcode and install our app. Super simple, and get 10% off today. So a great way to get people to install the app. The next area is analytics. And the first item in that area is app analytics. And when you go to that page, of course, it's going to give you information that's similar to what appears on the dashboard for all of your apps, but this area is for just this app. So it will give you information on how many people visited your app, how many installs you've had, and then it breaks out the information by device, by geographical area. It tells you how much time they're spending in the app. It's absolutely insane what this data is. So that is the app analytics. And then you've also got an area called feature analytics. And if you click on that, it gives you information on specific features that are installed, like if you put in to sell items, if you have a shopping cart in there, it will give you information about the shopping cart, the products, how many you sold, how many people put items in the shopping cart. All that information is wonderful information if you have that information. So, and then there's also a loyalty card feature. So if you have somebody that comes in, say 5 times to the hair salon, and you want to give them a 10% discount on that 5th time, you can create a loyalty card inside the app, and they'll be able to get the discount. And right here, it shows how many loyalty points you've given away and if they've been used. So lots of neat stuff. The next one I want to show you is the user area. And this gives you the ability to allow users to get into apps that you're building to be able to manage their own app. And this is kind of a two-edged sword, because you can give them access, but you want to make sure that you really educate them on getting access, because they can mess up your app for sure. So like for a hair salon, I may want to give them access to their app so they can do push notifications, but I have to be sure to train them on how to do push notifications and not go into the area where the actual app is built. So it's going to be important on your part to make sure you train them. But you can actually give virtual assistants access to certain apps. You can limit their access to only one app or several apps, but it just allows you to give access so they can do their own push notifications, or to give your virtual assistant access so they can help you build these apps. So that's another neat feature of this platform. And then the last area is settings. If I click that, I've got several different areas. The first one is terms and conditions. And when we pull that up, that allows you to set the terms and conditions inside of your app. So you can create a privacy policy right here and set that up in your app. And there's already one in there created for you. You just edit. And then if you want to set up the terms and conditions for any discounts that are offered in your app, you can actually set that up right here. Notice you've got a dynamic toolbar. So you can change the text size, the type. You can put in, you can left justify, right justify. You can put in an image. There's all kinds of neat things you can do when you set up the terms and conditions for any discounts. And then, of course, if you add the loyalty card in, you can set up the terms and conditions for the loyalty card as well. So lots of great resources to be able to make sure you're taking care of your privacy policies that you need inside your app. The next thing is APIs. And when I click that area, you're going to see lots of neat information about API keys. And you can get Facebook APIs, you can get Twitter APIs, Instagram, and even Flickr, which are sharing pictures. And that allows you to use some extra features inside of the app builder associated with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or Flickr. And again, we'll have advanced training on those APIs. The next one is domain. And when you click that, it brings up the domain name for your app. And right there it is. So if someone, if you give someone that link, it's going to send them to your app and they can actually view it right on their browser. So let's go ahead and we're going to click this. And I'm going to go to a browser and let's see if we've got our test app up already. Yeah, so this is what it looks like when you go full screen on the desktop. If you wanted to see it smaller, you just minimize it and kind of shrink it down a little bit. There you go. And that gives you the idea of what it'll look like on the phone because you're shrinking down that image. So just a way to share that information with your customer that you're building the app for so they can take a look at it, but you do have to educate them and say, hey, you can look at it on the desktop, but you have to shrink the screen to get a good idea of what it looks like on the phone. Okay. So that's just another neat feature. And let's see, go back and let's look at the advanced stuff. And in the advanced area, we've got some really cool stuff, including enabling offline content from like Google Maps. Fidelity points I've not used yet, so I don't know what that is, but hopefully in the time that we'll be doing some training, I'll give you some training on fidelity points. And then iOS NS descriptions. So when you are using an app, there are specific things you have to say about some functionality to make sure the user understands why they're giving access to something like the camera or their picture library or the microphone. So what this does is it gives the description. So when that thing pops up that says allow use of camera, it says, because we're going to scan QR codes and share pictures. Okay, so that's really, really important. And if you don't have that information in there, Apple won't approve your app. So you need to make sure that this is very descriptive of exactly what you're going to do with these native features inside of the iPhone. And then the next area is messages. And if you click on that, it takes you to an area where you can actually share information about an app. So if I've got a virtual assistant that I'm working with on this app and I give them access to this app, we can actually share information and share notes. So I can type in my notes here and click send. And when my virtual assistant jumps in, they can go straight to the messages area and see any notes that I've made before they start editing. So it's just a great way to keep track of what you're doing in the system. And especially if you've got more than one person working on the app, so you can make sure you're staying updated with what's been done and what still needs to get done. And you can also attach files here too. So you can attach things to be able to share images, ideas, documents, all that kind of stuff. So just a way to kind of centralize the information that you're sharing on the app as you're building it. Okay, so that's really a nutshell of what all's involved with the app builder itself. Next week, I will talk about getting an app developer account on iOS and Android. And then I'll also talk about getting a developer account on Amazon, because you can publish Android apps on Amazon. So we'll talk about all about that. We'll talk all about that. Gosh, I'm so excited. I can't even speak today. But we'll talk all about that next week in our training. Each training session, I'm going to try to keep to about 30 minutes. I did go over just a little bit today, but that's okay. We got a lot of information going. So I will let you go from now. We did a great job of going through everything. Get ready. This is going to be a fun ride building your first mobile app and getting it published. So don't forget, every Monday, 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, 9 o'clock Central, we'll go over how to use the Builderall app builder to build your own mobile apps on iPhone, Android, and even for Amazon App Store. Y'all have a great day today, and I will see you around the internet, and keep building with Builderall. Bye, guys.